You're listening to Career Ready, and I'm Coach K. Getting you ready for your corporate career. I studied organizational culture in varsity, but still, that did not prepare me for what it really was. Elliot Jacques first introduced the concept of culture in the organizational context in his 1951 book, The Changing Culture of a Factory. But today, according to Ravasi and Schultz, organizational culture can be categorized as a set of shared assumptions that guide behaviors. It is also the pattern of which collective behaviors and assumptions that are taught to new organizational members as a way of perceiving and even thinking and feeling. But what does organizational culture actually mean to you on a real and practical level? So this week, that's what we aim to discuss. So this week, that's what I want us to discuss and unpack. Number one, what are the common organizational cultures of values and why is it important to know them? Number two, how does organizational culture differ from your actual ethnic culture? Number three, how to identify or determine an organization's culture? And number four, common mistakes that I found that we as Black professionals make when we enter the corporate environment for the first time. Culture as we know it is usually distinct and identifiable by a singular group of people, which impacts the way they think, speak, function, and even do the little things. But when it comes to an organization, this culture is unique because it is complex and diverse. As there are people who function in it from various backgrounds, races, religions, genders, and even cultures. There are two levels to an organization's culture that you need to be aware of. One intangible and the other tangible. The intangible level is considered the personality of the organization. It's in its shared values, its mission, even the working environment, and how it makes you feel when you're interacting and functioning in that working environment. While the tangible is in how it treats its people, how you are inducted into the system, how they hire, and even how they fire. It's also how they reward good behavior and punish bad. There are a few organizational culture frameworks, but we will focus on the OCP Framework, which is the Organizational Culture Profile adapted in the Academy of Management Journal. The OCP Framework represents the organizational culture in 7 distinct values, namely, number 1, the innovative culture, number 2, an aggressive culture, number 3, outcome-orientated, number 4, stable, number 5, people-orientated, number 6, team-orientated, and lastly, number 7, detail-orientated. The innovative culture is considered one that is flexible, adaptable, and experiments with new ideas, where the organization's hierarchy is usually flat, which creates an environment where employees are often encouraged to take risks and to be creative. An interesting resource worth having a look at in terms of the African landscape is the Fast Company's Most Innovative Companies in Africa, which has awarded 54 Gene as the most innovative company in Africa in 2020. Now, let's fly through the other values in the OCP framework with quick definitions as outlined and adapted from the LARD bucket. Number 2 is the aggressive culture, and this is one where the organization values competitiveness and outperforming competitors over everything else. You will notice that the language used by their leaders is often aggressive and a little bit violent. They will use words like, "we will murder our competitors." Number 3 is the outcome-orientated culture, and this is one where achievement, results, and actions are emphasized as important values. Number 4 was a stable culture, and these are predictable, rule-orientated, and bureaucratic. These organizations aim to coordinate and align individual efforts for the greatest level of efficiency, usually producing consistent output. Number 5 is the people-orientated culture, which values fairness, supportiveness, and respect for individual rights. These organizations truly live the mantra that people are their greatest assets. In addition to having fair procedures and management styles, these companies create an atmosphere where work is fun and employees do not feel required to choose between work and other aspects of their lives. Number 6, team-orientated cultures are those that value collaboration and emphasize cooperation amongst employees. This creates a culture where all members tend to have a more positive relationship with their co-workers and particularly with their managers. And the last one, number 7, is a detailed-orientated culture. and those are where the emphasis is given to precision and close attention to detail. Those were the OCP framework cultures and values. Do you think that there is any one culture that sounded like it would result in a strong organizational culture where members were felt heard, could be productive, challenged, and allowed to be great? Is there any culture that best suits your personality and would motivate you to be productive? Think about that as we prepare for our sessions tomorrow. That's it from me today. Thank you so much for joining. You can continue the conversation with me on LinkedIn by following my hashtag QM Career Coaching, or on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, as well at Hello Coach K. Or if you prefer, you can send me an email at info@hellocoachk.com. See you next time.